Lindor gets under one to center field. Harris going back, back near the wall, and it's out of here! Linsanity again! Francisco Lindor flips the script with a 2-run homer, and the Mets go in front 8-7. Oh, wow! Oh, boy.
Shout out to
That's
Mets
what an
Twitter.
MVP does right there. That is what an MVP does, okay? I don't care what the voters say, who's giving at the end of the season. The 2024 MVP is Francisco Lindor. It was brought up the other day. I wrote an article weeks ago. Brought up the other day in the Belly Up Slack when Ohtani hit the 50th home run. And I kind of conceded. I'm like, I know Ohtani's going to win, but I'm still going to put the good fight for Francisco Lindor. That's out the window right now. Yesterday, all right? Francisco Lindor is the most valuable person in Major League Baseball, all right? He's more valuable to the Mets than Ohtani is to the Dodgers. Because if you take Ohtani off the Dodgers, I can tell you what happens. They win 100 games, they're still they're in the playoffs, maybe not the 1 seed, maybe they get the 2 seed, but they're comfortably in the playoffs with a bye. You take Francisco Lindor off the New York Mets. The Mets have been dead since May. So if you want to go off value, it's Lindor.
I aspire to be happy like you one day from a sports perspective. Shout out to Mets Twitter for that clip. Welcome to the Third and 10 podcast. I'm Nate. That's Brian here to my right. As you can see and hear, Brian is super excited because that video, Francisco Lindor hitting the game-winning 2-run home run in the top of the ninth, clinched a playoff spot for the Mets. What a game. I mean, it was back and forth.
There's no way to describe what that game was than to just run down everything that had happened.
So, go ahead, buddy. It's all you.
Okay, let's do it. So we had the hurricane. Last time we all spoke, it was the hurricane in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we spoke last time. MLB, bad job. Don't throw that. Fine, whatever. MLB goes off. Mets go off to Milwaukee. They get beaten in the first 2 games. And then there's this feeling that the sky's falling. Like, here we go again. Blowing it in, Milwaukee this time. We're done. Thankfully for the New York Mets, the Arizona Diamondbacks were also blowing it to the San Diego Padres. So all the Mets had to do was win on Sunday and a Diamondbacks loss, and they would clinch. Worst case scenario, as long as they won, they could still make it. They win Sunday, Diamondbacks win, so that means they have to go to Atlanta and play in these meaningful games. The playoffs started yesterday for us. So the first game is huge because it's a doubleheader, and then right when you finish doubleheader, you got to get on that. You pop champagne, and you're getting on that plane and go to Milwaukee or San Diego. So your pitching was kind of, it was going to be taxed. You're going to use your bullpen guys. You might have to use a frontline starter that you would rather pitch in game 1, but since, you need a playoff spot, you have to pitch them in that game. For the Mets, Severino, we were saving him for game 2 because if the Mets won game 1, we could be like, all right, Sevy, you're going to pitch game 1 tomorrow against Milwaukee or San Diego. So that was always the hope, was win game 1 so you can save somewhat of your starting pitching and go out there with your rotation intact. Your bullpen's going to get taxed no matter what. But as long as your starters are okay, you can kind of piece your way together. Mm-hmm. So winning game 1 was super important. And for the first 7 innings, the Mets were dead. For whatever reason, Schwallenbacher of the Braves just has the Mets number, all right? They were uncompetitive in those at-bats. They were just overmatched, not putting in, very quick at-bats, 4 or 5 pitches. Schwallenbacher, I was texting my cousin, and I'm like, these guys need 7, 8 pitch at bats to run this guy's pitch count up. I said that, I want to say the 6th inning. I think he had a 7 pitch. He threw the amount of pitches I wanted to throw to one batter. All right, down 3-0 in the 8th inning. I've kind of accepted defeat. I'm like, all right, this game is over. The Mets look dead. Let's just, regroup. We're going to have to throw Sevy in game 2, which sucks, but at least the Braves shouldn't be trying. There'll be a lot of rest guys. We'll win, and we'll figure out the pitching tomorrow. Probably either maybe move Manaea up on short rest or throw Jose Puto out there and hope the bullpen just kind of piece it together. And then the 8th inning comes, and then they knock Schwarzenbacher out. Tyler Taylor has a double down the line. He's out of the game now. Then the Mets just rally for 6 runs. 6. In the 8th inning. And I am going absolutely ballistic. All right. I'm screaming. I'm jumping up and down. My chest started hurting. Like I thought I was gonna going through heart palpitations. I had to stand outside for a minute to calm down. Like I gotta get away from the TV because this has never happened before. This is normally happening to the Mets where they look dominant all game and completely fall apart. And when I saw Brandon Nimmo hit that home run, the first time I'm like, we won this game. That's the hammer. That's the nail. We beat the momentum. The Braves looked shocked. The fans were stunned. The Mets got this. And then the bottom of the 8th inning comes around, and we immediately hit Riley, I believe his name is. We hit him with a pitch, and he's on first base. And then when the next Brave guy I think Darno got a single, and then they take Phil Maton out, and they put Diaz in. And you're like, okay, 5-out saves. It's Edwin Diaz. He's been our guy. He's the highest paid reliever in MLB. Like, this is your moment. This is why we pay you. And then we come back. And SNY throws up a graphic that Edwin Diaz's ERA, days where he's pitched back-to-back, 4.47, I think it was what it was, or 4.14. Like, it was 4. And you're like, like, that's not good. And then it slowly starts happening. Diaz can't find that strike zone. And when Diaz can't find the strike zone, you know you're in trouble. Like, the first batter of a Diaz outing tells you how it's going to go. If he goes out there and dominates, it's going to be over 1-2-3. If he's struggling, you're going to be sweating. Right? You're going to be sweating because he's going to be walking guys, giving up stupid hits. Like, it's hit or miss with Diaz like that. And when I saw him battling, I'm like, oh, geez, here we go again. And then when Diaz didn't cover first on that Jarred Kelenic single where Pete Alonso made a great play to stop it from run scoring, I'm like, we've lost this game. That's an out. That's going to come back and bite us. And then, sure enough, a few batters later, Jose Albies, it's a 3-run double. And the Braves are back up 7-6. And at that point, if there were any Mets fans who thought that they could still win that game, they were lying to themselves. All right, I was defeated. I tweeted out, I'm absolutely sick right now. I thought we lost. Part of me is like, we have just blew everything because how can we respond for that? We had this huge emotional 8th inning, and now we have to pull off that big comeback. We blow it less than 20 minutes later. We'll probably go down 1-2-3 in the 9th. And then we have to respond in 30 minutes. No, we're not. This is the Braves. We always lose to the Braves. It's another 99, another, 2022. The long list of the Braves owning the New York Mets. It was just another moment. And then Francisco Lindor, captain, the National League MVP, hits that home run, and there was not a doubt in my mind at that moment that we were going to win. That's Hollywood. That is Hollywood. The man who was, had his back hurting, went through a horrible slump to start the year, to go on this unprecedented run and to be the guy. It's Jake Taylor in Major League running down the first baseline to beat out the throw, and Willie Mays Hayes scores, and Cleveland baseball team is going to the playoffs for the first time. That's what that was. That was Lindor in the home run. Diaz comes back in and shuts the door. And at that moment, when Darno grounds out to Lindor, it was just collapse of pure mental just drain. And just, thank God we won that game. We're going to the playoffs. I didn't even watch Game 2 because I knew I could not make it.
Oh man, I tell you, buddy, you told a whole hell of a story.
I just started crying. I'm like, I've been through such an emotional roller coaster this past hour. There's nothing. This is just my body's response to it. My friends were even talking earlier in that day because I saw a stat that said like 100,000 fans went to MetLife Stadium this year, went this week, and neither home team scored a touchdown. So my buddy goes, being a New York sports fan sounds mentally exhausting. I'm like, it really is. And then I just said, and then that game happened. I'm like, this is perfect. I literally said to them, like, if you want another example of why it's mentally exhausting, watch the Met game today and just imagine what I'm doing during it.
Well, I tell you what, buddy, it's finally over. I mean, well, the stress was over for you for like 24 hours, and
For about 4 hours.
Yeah, and you're right back to it tonight. With the Mets playing the Brewers, if not mistaken, the Brewers, right? Yes,
Playing Milwaukee Brewers 5. What's it like 5:30?
Okay. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, this is the second time the Mets make the playoffs since 2017. They made the playoffs last time in 2022 when they won over 100 games, but they unfortunately lost in the wild card series. So we hopefully see some changes here. Milwaukee is a solid team. However, look, on this podcast, we root for the good teams, the good guys, and we hope the Mets make it. I do want to see Philly and Mets, man. I do want to see the Phillies and the Mets in the divisional round. I think it would be a heck of a matchup because division rivals for so long, both teams competing against each other in the NL East for years and years and years, and if they meet up in the divisional round, I think it's gonna be a heck of a series. So.
Do you think my hatred of Philadelphia is bad in the regular season? Imagine when my team is involved in a postseason game.
Hey, keep an eye on the Twitter, boys.
It's going to be bad.
And for our viewers and listeners, starting today, actually, if you want updates on the game, don't even watch the game. Just go follow Brian on Twitter. He's going to go off. I promise you that right now. For updates on the Mets game today.
She really called me. She goes, I'm watching your Twitter feed right now. What is happening? This sounds like the craziest game of all time. She was in college in a class and just on Twitter and just saw the tweet where it said, I'm absolutely sick right now, and knew something bad had happened with the Mets.
I bet you were like, yeah.
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, people are like trying to text me and stuff. I'm like, I will text all of you back when this game goes final. I will text you right now. Nobody bother me. The only person that could text me would be like my cousin because he was going through the same thing I was.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, man, congratulations to you. I mean, you guys went through ups and downs this year.
Hell and back. We're 11 games under 500 at one point.
And y'all came out the struggle, man. Y'all got the dub, and that's what matters, man. So, enjoy it for the next few hours. And then once the game starts, man, the stress begins. And that's what the postseason is all about. That's what it's all about, is just every game actually matters now. So, you said Severino is pitching tonight, correct?
Tonight. I think Peralta is on the mound for Milwaukee. So
okay,
we'll see. It's gonna be a good pitching matchup. Everyone's saying, "Oh, the Braves have beaten the Mets 5 out of 6 times this year." Do you know what happened in 2015 series, the NLCS 2015 between the Mets and Cubs? Do you remember?
I do not.
So the Mets swept that series, right?
Yes.
The Reds between the Mets and Cubs that year? They played 7 times. The Mets lost all 7 games. And in the postseason, swept them. So regular season record means nothing right now.
Nothing.
I know you could say they just played them, all that stuff. Playoffs are different, guys. And based off the win the Mets had right now, you want to go into the playoffs on a high. And the Mets are going in. They might be exhausted. Don't get me wrong. They're tired. But they're going in on as high of a high you can go right now.
Okay. Real quick, we do have the roster for the playoffs roster for the Mets as of right now. Based off Any surprises, or does everything seem normal in terms of the
Everything
postseason
seems
roster?
pretty. Yeah, everything seems pretty standard here. I'm
Okay.
not really shocked by anything. I mean, other
Okay.
than like Max Kranick, which I've never heard of before, but other than that, that's just a pitcher.
All right. Final question for the Mets, and we'll dive more into the playoff picture towards the end of the show as well. Um, when will you consider going to Citi Field?
I don't see us game 3.
Okay,
The first home game the Mets can actually have.
makes sense. Oh yeah. Okay, so not this series, not the
Can't be home
division.
this series because it's a 3-game series in Milwaukee, and then we would, if we win, it's 2 games against the Phillies in Philly, and then we'll be home for game 3. Yes, home for game 3.
So you consider you consider NLDS game 3.
And if the US game 3, I would consider, yeah. What
Okay,
depending on prices.
start saving up.
Exactly.
Start saving up. That's not the only good thing that happened to you this past week. I know, not only are you a Mets fan, a New York Giants fan, unfortunately, because they're a stressful team to root for, and we'll dive into them just a bit. But I heard from a little birdie that you landed a media intern job for the Bridgeport Islanders, which, for you guys, if you don't know, is the AHL affiliate for the New York Islanders. Correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Correct. So,
AHL 30 for the Islanders. Yep.
they're not the Rangers.
No, but it's a job in
It's
sports.
still a job.
It's a writing job in sports. I'm super excited about it. It's gonna be really fun. Writing, doing all this different stuff. Just another step in this long journey of sports media.
First off, how'd you get it?
Just happy for the opportunity.
How are you able to get it? You just
I just applied online and stuff. Met the guy. Had a couple interviews. And impressed him enough, and it was, hey, want to come in? I'm like, yeah, sure.
beautiful. Hey man, you deserve it. I mean, you've worked outstandingly on this podcast. You've always put the work in, and you've always grinded your ass off. So whether it's on the website with the articles or here on this podcast, you deserve it, man. So hopefully this leads to
Speaking of
bigger and
articles,
better.
I promise the Notre Dame article is coming. It's been a very eventful past couple days. I was writing it this morning, okay? I was away all weekend, and then I had to deal with that yesterday.
I don't blame you, buddy. I honestly, if you don't write an article at the end of the week, I don't blame you. It's
coming. It's halfway done. It'll be done by this afternoon. It'll be up tomorrow on the site.
Love the grind, my boy. Love the grind. But yeah, we'll talk more MLB towards the end of the show. But again, congrats to you on the media intern job and also your New York Mets making the postseason. Okay, let's go to the NFL now. Unfortunately,
we have to.
Man, this is what this podcast is all about, baby. Look, I know we're riding on a high here with the Phillies and the Mets making the playoffs, but unfortunately, the team that we share fandom of kind of disappointed us this past week. The New York Giants played on Thursday night. We had a show Thursday, so it was kind of tough waiting to talk about it until today.
Yeah.
But at least we got to analyze everything. But everything seemed like old news once Sunday came around because everything was released. Every, notable stat, notable clips, stuff like that. Look, I mean, I know on Thursday we talked about Daniel Jones and his poise and stuff and how he's handled the New York media well, but I know for sure that we didn't really praise him for his play on the field, and that's what matters the most when it comes to the game of football. Look, at the end of the day, results matter, and this guy continues to show that he is not capable of being the starting quarterback for this New York Giants team. Look, I know in the past people are saying, "Oh, well, you got to give him time." Eli Manning took some time, yes, but Eli won a Super Bowl.
Eli Manning takes 6 years. He won Super Bowl year 3.
Yeah, it's just, and he won a second in 8 years. Meanwhile, we're stuck with a quarterback who can't even throw the deep ball, and that's what leads us to talking about the Giants' 20-15 loss to the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday night. Just when we thought this team turned it around, it's the same thing all over again. And I'm gonna just give a few stats, Brian, if you don't mind, because I feel like this is something that will kind of piss you off a little bit. So the Giants had the advantage on time of possession, 35-24. They kept penalties to a minimum, by the way. The Giants had just 4 penalties for 35 yards. Dallas, on the other hand, was undisciplined, having 11 penalties for 89 yards, right? How about total yards, right? You think
The
Dallas
penalties,
has
you
more.
can't count all our penalties because we got penalized for the phantom face mask.
Yeah.
They got confused and we got charged 15 yards. Like, Daniel Bellinger's getting assaulted right now.
Yeah, and they had the audacity to call it on us. Like, come on. Oh, by the way, that
If you're in
ref,
a
by the
street
way.
fight with some, it's like if you get jumped by somebody and then they arrest you. Like, I didn't
Yeah.
do anything. I'm the victim.
What are you doing? Plus, that ref, by the way, I heard whenever he refs, the Cowboys win a lot with that. I forgot what the name of that ref is, but yeah, that was weird.
You done with him by halftime? Al Michaels wanted to beat that guy up at halftime.
Oh yeah,
There's like 20 seconds left in the half. Al Michaels like, of course, there's another flag on the field. Why not?
So yeah,
Al Michaels is a little mad right now.
15 penalties overall by both teams, but Dallas had 11, the Giants at 4. Total yards wise, Giants at 303, Dallas at 293, right? Okay. Giants had more first downs, 16 to 14. They were better on third down. They were 5 of 16 versus Dallas is 3 for 10. And on fourth down, Giants were 3 for 4. Dallas was 1 for 1, but the Giants converted more. They tried more and they converted more. So that's all good and dandy. You would think they won. They lost. No touchdowns, which pissed me off. 5 field goals, which pissed me even more off because you know how I feel about you. And I know how you feel, and you know how I feel. Because here's the thing. This, and I hate to say it, this makes me wish we didn't have a freaking kicker like Washington. Because in that game, we were aggressive. Like we went for it on a fourth down. Even if it's like 4th and 3, 4th and 2, we went for it. It didn't matter. Did it work out? Because that Malik dropped that pass, but at least we tried. At least we were aggressive.
We were in there.
Yeah, but all because we have a freaking kicker, and this is no knock to Greg Jones because he was great. We were conservative. And look, Brian Dable, I love him to death, and I know you do too. But gosh damn it, dude, just go for it. I think we kicked a field goal. It was an offside penalty that happened on a field goal, and we declined that and just take the points. No one does that crap. Take the offside penalty and then go for it again. Don't kick that crap. And that's the thing. It's just like this team has always been just conservative. Like we rarely see aggressiveness. And this whole conservative / lack of aggressiveness carries over not just from the head coach, but our quarterback. Because golly, look, literally, this is the season where Daniel Jones had no excuse. He had everything he could ever want in his NFL career. A wide receiver, 2 of them to be exact, that are really good. An offensive line, a veteran offensive line, by the way, that is actually good. He was sacked 1 time. He was kept clean the whole game. He was efficient, right? Which is great. But when are we going to just be okay with this mediocrity, Brian? It's the same thing. He went 29 of 40, which is great. He threw for 281 yards. But don't we remember that pushing the ball down the field and scoring touchdowns is what a quarterback is supposed to do? You could throw for 400 yards, and if you score no touchdowns, I don't give a crap. I would rather focus more on the 0 than the 281 or the 300 or the 400. It's clear Jones can't do it this year. I don't know what the heck happened because I remember his rookie year in Tampa Bay against Tampa Bay. When he threw the deep ball.
That was a different quarterback.
Yeah,
a completely different quarterback than that Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones that we saw in Tampa Bay in his first rookie start is gone.
Yeah,
have the shell of Daniel Jones.
And we don't know the exact reason why, but for some reason, and by the way, he's never hurt his arm. His arm has never been hurt from what I remember. It's always been, legs, obviously with the ACL last year.
Legs. I think he had an ankle injury his rookie year, or am I messing him up with Sam Darnold?
I think
some injury his rookie year because Eli came in for like 3 games because it was Eli's last game in MetLife. They beat Miami, and you remember him running off the field.
It was something. But regardless, it's like we don't know what happened, and we're paying the price for it because so far this year on deep throws,
it's probably a combination. It's probably a combination of injuries, lack of confidence from the coaching staff because you kind of know Dable doesn't trust Jones. It's kind of a bad secret. he loves Jones. He loves the work ethic and all that. Even he's realized, like, I can't do everything I want to do with Daniel Jones. There are, limits to what he can do, and I can't go past that, or else we're going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Which probably leads to more conservative play calling because of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Joe Shane the same way, even though we've seen him say he has confidence in Jones and Hard Knocks. And what else is he supposed to say? Like, it's just normal talk. We knew New York didn't have the fullest confidence in Jones when they tried to trade up to 3. And Hard Knocks, we saw it
this
firsthand.
This is their backup plan.
Yeah.
Like, it was presented in Hard Knocks as like, okay, they're building around Daniel Jones is the A plan. The same in the B plan was, okay, if they can trade up. The Giants were definitely trying to trade up a lot harder than Hard Knocks laid on because, the Giants control what came out of Hard Knocks and what didn't. Mm-hmm. And, a whole show about trying to trade up and failing and having to kind of step back and be like, all right, I guess we're kind of stuck with Daniel Jones. Mm-hmm. It's not a message John Mara wants to send out about what the Giants are doing. Like, no, we believe in our guys. Please come here. Because, like, if there's a whole show about we don't like Daniel Jones, we need to replace him, that looks bad on us. And you can say the Giants are right or wrong, whatever. A player's going to see that and be like, this is an organization that will, give up on a guy and kind of trash them in media. So I'm not going there.
It's like getting a present from your grandparents that sucks, but you have to put on a smiley face and say, thank you, I love it, because you don't want to hurt their feelings.
You got socks. Like, you got like a sweater from Christmas. You're like, oh, like,
thanks.
Like, I wanted Army guys, but this is cool, I guess.
Yeah, like, it's like I really wanted this other thing, but I guess we'll stick with this one because you gave it to me. And that's not the same thing with Joe Shane and Brian Daboll, is that they're stuck with this guy. That they've been stuck with them from the previous regime because Dave Kettleman can't draft a quarterback. I don't know why. But anyways, look, it's fine. Okay, like he's a game manager, I guess. On a good day, Daniel Jones.
I don't even know if he's a game manager anymore. I think he's more of a bridge guy. I think he's like the guy you bring in where it's like it's like a Colt start in 2012 when Peyton Manning missed the entire year, and they were just trying to tank for Andrew Luck. That's what Daniel Jones is right now, because he's a fine quarterback. He's an NFL caliber quarterback. He can do good stuff, but he can't throw the ball deep anymore.
No.
That ball was over 20 yards. I don't know if it's his ACL injury bothering him that he can't plant and get power behind it. I don't know if it's something with his neck that's bothering him, but something happens and the deep ball has just kind of been zapped out of him, that every time the ball is thrown more than 20, 25 yards, it looks like a floater, a dead duck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2 of 13 so far this season, 67 yards, 1 interception, is negative 0.03 EPA per dropback on passes that travel 20-plus yards.
One of those plays was Malik Neighbors burning his quarter and just standing in the middle of the field wide open. But of course you're going to hit that one.
Yeah, and it's like the one where he burned that corner. I forgot his name. He was a practice squad guy.
Cowboys.
Yeah. And he was wide open. I'm like, oh my God, just throw it, like hit him in stride, And I'm seeing Neighbors turn back like this and looking like
They're ready to catch a fly ball.
Dang it, you beat me to it. Nimmo, right? Is that his name at center field? Yeah, we go. He was like basically
Bader,
Nimmo.
they switch.
Who? Oh, Bader.
Nimmo plays left. Bader plays center. Tyron Taylor plays center sometimes. They got 3 guys that play center.
Well, regardless, one of those guys, he's basically Neighbors is like that, waiting for the ball, and I'm like, you gotta be fluffy and kidding me. He completed the pass, yes, but that's not the point. The point is
touchdown if he hits him in stride.
Yes, exactly. You won't do that because he can't do it, and it's just we can't go anywhere with this guy. And I think today I felt irritated about it because Brian, it's the same thing every single week. He does good one game, we win, and we praise the heck out of him for his poise and whatever. But we understand, we've said on multiple times that if it's all about beating the good teams, Cleveland was never a good team. Never. Their offensive line was wrecked up.
They lost to the Raiders this week.
Yeah, like that's a sign that they're a bad team. We're supposed to beat bad teams. It's about competing against division rivals, the good teams, the teams that make the playoffs. And Jones can't do that. He never could beat the Dallas Cowboys. He could never beat the Philadelphia Eagles when it matters. And it's just like, dude, when are we gonna be just stop being okay with this? We can praise him all we want for his off the field stuff and his media ploys and whatever, but when are we gonna stop? With stuff on the field.
No, I get it. It's like sure, did Daniel Jones lose us the game? No, but at the same time, he did nothing to elevate us and win the game by himself. Which in modern day, you kind of need a quarterback to do that. Like even Kirk Cousins, who is kind of like the standard I've always compared Daniel Jones to, where if Daniel Jones could just be like Kirk Cousins, would be fine. Even Kirk Cousins now and then has flashes of him putting the team on his back and doing it by himself. I've not seen that from Daniel Jones, besides probably the Vikings game. But that was in 2022 when they had film on him, and the next game he was
out.
So it's like, sure, Daniel Jones isn't necessarily terrible, not as bad as everyone says he is, but is he still the future of his team at quarterback? Absolutely not, because he holds back this offense so much.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the neighbor's underthrow earlier. He had a ball to Darius Slayton that was severely underthrown. Literally, if he hit him in stride, that would have been a touchdown. I believe in the
drop, which yes, he did. Slayton did drop the ball, and that's a whole complete different issue. If it's a better thrown ball, like the drop against Washington, was it 2021? I want to say.
Yeah, against Washington.
Yeah. That's a drop on Slayton. Jones put a good ball, and that's Slayton not catching that ball. Drop against Dallas, that's kind of on both of them. That's on, okay, Slayton, you're dropping the ball again. That's probably a ball you should have. Daniel also needs to make a better throw than that. That was a rough throw to begin with.
And then I do want to blame a little bit on, I know Wanda played a pretty solid game, but when you get hit in the numbers on a perfect throw in the middle of the field, you got to hang on to that, man. I just don't understand. There's always something. There's always something to criticize with this team. It's ridiculous. Malik Neighbors will not be criticized ever on this podcast. He went 12 catches, 115 yards. Had a concussion though. But he will be okay.
Thankfully it's a long week, so he can kind of get out of protocol.
Recover, exactly. So he should be good to go. Oh yeah, remember what was the weakness of Dallas? Run defense, wasn't it? Because they allowed
it was. I think we stressed running the ball, and I put some wagers on Singletary rushings overs.
Yeah, I think I possibly considered it. But I was like, let me enjoy Singletary running all over the Cowboys. Let's see some Singletary, let's see some Tyrone Tracy, let's see some Eric Gray. Let's see the run game develop. Our leading running back rushed for, what was it? He rushed for less rushing yards than his own jersey number. Singletary, by the way, is number 26. Really, dude? Yeah. 14 carries, 24 yards. Not pathetic. That's legit. Is that even a 1 yard per carry? Yeah, it's like 1.5
it's not by
yards.
Much.
Yeah, it's like 1.5 or something per carry. And the Giants overall rushed for 26 yards as a whole game.
24?
Yeah, 14. Yeah, 14. Yeah, 24 divided by 14.
1.71.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's terrible. And that's not you would think, okay, maybe someone else stepped up. No, the Giants rushed for 26 yards the entire game. That's when it's bad. And it's just, why? Dude, this is the worst rushing defense in the league. Can you put up this crap?
The Giants need a running back next year. If there's one, we're talking about quarterback all we want. In the mid rounds, even I would say maybe as early as the third, the Giants gotta go get a game-changing running back. Or not game-changing, just a solid running back. Because Singletary's nice. I like Singletary. He had a rough game, but he also had a few rushes where he probably should have a 5-yard loss there and turned it into a 3-yard gain. So that was good to see. but he's not a running back 1 anymore. He's a running back 2, running back 3, maybe. He needs somebody in front of him to take the bell cow role, and he'll go in on special plays and get that, touchdown or so, or the 3-yard conversion needed to get first down.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in this whole offense, man. I mean, outside of Neighbors and somewhat Robinson, just this whole thing is just a mess. And did we see Jalen Hyatt? No, we did not.
No.
Oh, barely. 0 catches, 0 yards once again for Jalen Hyatt.
Did he even get a target? I think he got 1 target. I think I saw him once.
Yeah. Just 1 target.
Mm-hmm.
Just 1.
And where are the tight ends? Like, why aren't they getting involved?
Yeah, dude, this is bad.
I haven't heard Bellinger. I heard, I think Johnson once on Thursday because he was getting flagged for holding.
Yeah, I think Johnson finished with like 1 or 2 catches at most. He wasn't really.
Get them more involved, please. Like, let's use the different guys.
Johnson's 6'5", 6 something for a reason. Chuck it up some, see what happens. But yeah, overall offense wise, the only bright spots I get. Neighbors, Robinson to an extent. Offensive line did an outstanding job.
Yeah, it's the offensive line. Yeah.
Like, we can't complain about them. They've been outstanding all year long. And it seems like by the end of the season, we can say they did really good, but they're going to be lost in all the negativity because the Giants can't win games.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm seeing on Twitter. Like, all these Giants fans are calling for Joe Shane's head because of the Daniel Jones contract. I'm like, okay, I'm giving you it. The Daniel Jones contract was bad. Joe Shane himself, if you give him true serum, he'd be like, yeah, that was probably a mistake giving Daniel Jones that big contract. And, like, we can't trust Joe Shane go through another offseason. It's like, okay, guys, he messed up on quarterback, but he's improved the offensive line. He's got he's got a game-changing wide receiver, a decent wide receiver, Wan'Dale Robinson. Deontay Banks has been hit or miss all year, but, like, he shows flashes. He brought, he got Dexter Lawrence. He didn't draft Dexter Lawrence, but he locked him up to an extension. He's building a pretty decent secondary with Drew Phillips and Tyler Nubin, who look like budding stars. Kayvon Thibodeau, if you can just, consistency, he could be a top defensive end in the league. And Brian Burns is slowly building, up. He's not the player we thought he was going to be so far. 4 games of a long contract, and he is getting better every single game. We saw him with a tackle for loss in Dallas, a sack against Cleveland. So he is kind of coming into his own there. Like, Joe Shane's done a lot of good for this roster. It's just quarterback where he's messed up with. So, like, I trust Joe Shane next season.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I trust him too. Like, I don't want him gone.
There's nothing to shake my. If anything, it's like, okay, Minnesota was just a really good team. Outside of that, that's the only, like, dumpster fire game we had.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, they just need their guy, and I don't know who that guy's gonna be. We saw a lot of solid college performances, and we'll talk about college in a bit as well. But, dude, I don't know. We are 4 games in. We are 1-3. We have Seattle coming up on Sunday, and it's in Seattle. The last time Daniel Jones played Seattle, we know how that went, unfortunately.
Is Colt McCoy available?
No, but CJ Beathard is.
Colt McCoy. He went into Seattle and won.
Him and Wayne Gallman. Oh, what a game!
Wayne Gallman, what a game!
What a game!
I remember going to that game like, we're gonna lose this game, and they won 17-12. I'm like, we are going to the playoffs. Like, there is not a doubt in my mind. We are winning. We are winning the division.
That was a great game. I miss Wayne Gallman. I think if he was available still to play in the NFL, I feel like he would have. I mean, he's still available, I'm sure, but
Wayne Gallman might be. Did he make an appearance in the UFL?
Correct.
He did make. Oh, actually, it's Wayne Gallman's birthday.
Oh, hey, come to the Giants, Gallman. We need you. We could use you.
St. Louis Battlehawks last year.
Yes. He should be on the Giants. He was an RB1. He was more than capable. He had an explosive step to him.
Do we have stats for Wayne Gallman on the Battlehawks?
For the XFL? No, I doubt that crap. I doubt they update stats for that league, which no one really watches whatsoever.
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, like I knew it was going on because like the Fox Sports would send me alerts like, yeah, had 116 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns.
Oh.
Okay. Touchdowns were good, but he seems like he was a handcuff guy. He seemed like he wasn't the lead back.
Yeah, that probably makes sense. Okay, that's enough rush or being mean to the offense, I guess. Please step it up. We'll have Seattle preview on Thursday, by the way. So, Thursday or Friday. Okay, defense. Speaking of Brian Burns, he has been improving until he played Dallas. He did not generate a single pressure on 25 pass rushes against the Cowboys. It was the first game in which he had no pressures, in which he had 10 plus rushes, though. He matched up against Terrence Steele on 17 of 25 of his rush attempts, and he could not do anything. No pressures, no sacks, no nothing.
Did the one tackle for loss late in the game.
One TFL when it didn't even mother fluffing matter. So look, honestly, the defense wasn't that bad, but they were.
Defense played average. They were average all night. Like, but they weren't great.
Yeah. They allowed 2 touchdowns in the first half, and then that was pretty much it. They allowed 2 field goals in the second half, but that was it scoring wise. It's just
what defense. Don't forget, they were missing Phillips and Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Those are 2 big pieces.
Yeah, like they handled their own. I mean, CD 7 of 98 for a touchdown, but that most of those yards came from a 55-yarder that he scored on. Other than that, he was limited the whole game pretty much. Pressure wise on Prescott, there was that 1 sack by Thibodeau. Yeah, there was nothing. 1 sack, 3 quarterback hits. Other than that, nada. So
yeah.
Newman led the way with 8 tackles, which is great. But overall, man, ever since he lost to us his rookie year, Prescott said, "Nah, screw it. I hate you guys," and has beaten us ever since. So
it's Patriots Jets level right now.
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys. It's the next one.
Yeah. I don't have much on defense. Do you? I just
not really fine. Yeah, exactly. It was fine. I want to see more. Like, tackle for loss from Burns. I want to see more for him, but like, I'm not worried yet. Like, it's a new team, new system, new everything. Guys, just take a second. They'll be fine. Kayvon got a sack, which I guess is good, but again, I want to see more. Like, everything that's fine, but I want to see more. It's basically my main takeaway.
Yeah. Keynotes, injuries. Micah Parsons was carted off the field in the 4th quarter, has an ankle injury. He'll miss some time as well. DeMarcus Lawrence for the Cowboys, out for 8 weeks with a Lisfranc injury in his right foot. He'll be placed on IR. And then Malik Neighbors had a concussion, but he should be good to go for Seattle in week 5, barring any other situations. Before we go from the Giants to the NFL as a whole, 3 situations worth revisiting for New York. These are 3 4th down situations in which the Giants should, if we could go back in time, probably could have gone for it. One of them was a 4th and 4 situation from the 34-yard line. This was 9:08 left in the first quarter. The Giants went for it on 4th down and 4. In terms of win probability, it would have been up from 39% to 45% if they went for it on that specific situation. There was another 4th down situation in the second quarter. They're losing 14-6. It was 4th and 3 from the 15. This is where the Giants declined that outside penalty. Because it was originally 4th and 8, but if they accepted that outside, it would have been 4th and 3. So if they went for it, they would have increased their win probability from 18% to 24% at that time. Then again, in the third quarter, it was 4th and 3 from the 3-yard line. 8:45 left in the third. If they went for it, the win probability would have jumped from 26% to 44% at that time as well. So that's a bunch of numbers you guys probably just heard, and you're probably like, what the heck? What are you talking about, Nate? The point is, please, for the love of God, I don't care if you're 8 yards away, if you're 3 yards away, just go for the mother fluffing 4th down. Please. Just, I don't know, Greg Joseph, just tear your ACL or something. Wow. I don't know.
Strong words.
I don't know. Just something. Okay. Like, I don't want to see a kicker come out when we're 8 yards away from the end zone, dude. That's what frustrates me, and it frustrates you too.
Yeah,
I can't do it,
go
dude.
for it. If it's if it's 4th and goal, there should be no, unless it's like, we were sacked and pushed back. It's like a 10 on 4th and goal. That's 4 down territory.
Yeah, just go for it, man. These are NFL players. They're supposed to figure it out. Find Malik, find Wandale. I don't care. Just freaking go for it. But instead, we're stuck with this conservative freaking play calling because Dable doesn't want to trust his quarterback, and I don't blame him either. But at the same time, Jesus, at least try. And I think we'll just leave it there because I swear to God, I know we're gonna lose to Seattle. We'll preview them on Thursday, but I know dang well, especially what happened to Seattle this past week on Monday against Detroit.
Great game.
Oh, ain't no way we're beating Seattle. No way.
It was different. It was like watching a different sport.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching Detroit Seattle last night.
That was a game, by the way.
Great game.
Real quick, Giants signed Kearis Jackson to the practice squad. He's a receiver / kickoff returner. Who cares? Yeah. And the Giants worked out CJ Beathard at quarterback. So,
I don't know.
Yeah. Tweet by Brandon London, by the way. After looking at the Rashee Rice news, this is pure speculation, he says, and he feels like he's tweeting crazily in a way, but he feels
conspiracy theory. It's got some QAnon stuff going on.
In a way. He says the Chiefs he feels like the Chiefs are going to trade for Darius Slayton.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah.
Take him. Why not?
Give us a fourth. Yeah. Screw the fourth. You can have him. I'm done with him too.
I'd rather take, and like Darius Slayton's a fine receiver, but I'd rather take the lottery ticket. What impact is Slayton going to have on this team other than being like that, second wide receiver who really should be like a fourth wide receiver type guy?
Mm-hmm. He's gone
like a guy who's
here.
Yeah, exactly. Like Neighbors is taking wide receiver number 1. Robinson's probably jumped over him as wide receiver number 2. So right now he's 3rd on the depth chart, and even then it's an unimpressive 3rd because, I don't know what we're gonna get from Jalen Hyatt anymore. But I know in free agency you can find somebody right now that will give you the same production Darius Slayton has.
I.e. Jalen Hyatt.
You want to bring up Hodgins from the practice squad. Maybe he's got something left to him. Bring back maybe an Allen Robinson, who we cut him back. Like Slayton's a fine receiver, but like the kind of receiver you can kind of find anywhere. Like it's not hard to replace that kind of value.
And I love Slayton. Like he's a great teammate and all, defending his quarterback and whatever, but it's like this. I don't care, bro. You drop passes all the fudging time, and it's just like, when is it gonna stop, man? Catch the damn ball. Whatever. Okay.
Wouldn't that be great? The Chiefs get prevented from a 3-peat because Darius Slayton has to drop. Like it's not just us.
It's like I told you guys.
Basically, told you guys.
Hey, they took one receiver from us, and Travis Kelce was like, I don't understand why the Giants traded for him.
Yeah, because he's an absolute head case. That's why. He proved it in 3 weeks with you guys.
I think he signed with the Browns.
He did. He did sign with the Browns.
That's why they're trash.
There we go.
There we go. All right. Let's move on to the rest of week 4. As always, every week when we break down the weekly takeaways, we start with you, Brian. What were some takeaways from game 4 of the NFL season?
Frauds. I came on this show on Thursday and said that the Buccaneers are going to win, and I was told that I was being biased. Not. Yes, it was you.
It was me.
That's right. The Eagles. This can get bad really quickly for the Eagles here because Jalen Hurts, there's a lot of question marks surrounding him right now. Is he still a guy? And Sirianni has to be on the hot seat after this because he is just not a good coach. Like, that Super Bowl was an outlier. Clearly, his offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator were a lot better than we give him credit for. Because as soon as they've left, the problems have kind of started to emerge with Sirianni. And now you got more of the leadership out from Kelsey. These problems just keep rearing their ugly head and becoming worse and worse. Like, what is Sirianni's biggest accomplishment? Push? Revolutionizing the tush push? But, like, how is that any different than running the QB sneak in Madden? Like, you've just been doing something I've been doing since I was, like, 10. And just, you did it, you found a way to make it, like, hit every single time, which is impressive. You're not reinventing the wheel here, right? That has been in football for 100 years now.
I mean, no A.J. Brown, no Devontae.
Oh, so when the quarterback doesn't have weapons, he struggles.
I
think I've heard this before.
Yeah, we've been through it multiple times. But for us, at least our quarterback made the playoffs.
Quarterback was blamed for that problem. Well, Jalen Hurts, like, it's not Jalen Hurts' fault. Why did Jalen Hurts get the excuse?
See, biased.
Interesting.
For those of you who don't, the Bucks won 33-16. And
It was very fun game to watch.
Of course it was.
I was driving all day on Sunday, so like I didn't get to start watching until like 2:30. When I pulled in my driveway, I just looked at my phone and saw the alert. Eagles down 21-0. I'm like, I can decide right now.
So yeah, shout out to the Bucks, man. Heck of a win. And the Eagles, yeah, they got some issues that they got to work out. They're 2-2, but not a very
impressive 2-2. They're 2-2, but like they probably should have lost that Saints game.
That's true. That is true.
Their only impressive win was the game in Brazil. Outside of that, it's been 3 very mediocre performances from the Philadelphia Eagles.
All right, what else you got for me, buddy?
Bengals are still to worry about, even though they won.
Yeah, they won. Yay!
But I'm still concerned because they let the Panthers kind of hang around that game a lot longer than they should have. Like, it was 21-14 at halftime, and there was a realistic shot that Andy Dalton was going to have his revenge. So if you're a Bengals fan, like, I know you almost beat the Chiefs, but I think that's washed away now because you start off 0-3. I know the Commanders are, might be the team that beat in the NFC right now. They're just a really, really good football team. Hats off to them and Jane Daniels. I'm sure we'll talk about them more in a minute. But if they can't beat them and they struggle against the Panthers, how are they going to do going down the stretch? It's not Burrow. It's very much on their defense. But you got to be concerned if you're a Bengals fan right now. Especially when the Ravens just beat up on the Bills like they did.
I mean, I've said it before. I feel like, you have Jamar Chase, you have T. Higgins. This is like your last year for the Bengals to try to compete. Yeah, before, kind of things fall apart.
After this year. Over the next 2 years, Higgins is gone. You can't pay him. Mm-hmm. Chase could be gone, but I think they'll work out a contract with him.
Oh, yeah, they haven't worked with anything on. They haven't worked a contract with him yet, huh?
Yeah, no. And I'm sure they will because, like, they kind of see him as important. Like, all right, he's Joe Burrow's guy. We got to make sure we keep him around. Like, he's got more priority than T. Higgins does, but you're still going to have to pay him a good chunk of your salary cap. And that's not going to go to other positions on your team.
Okay, this is new. Vincent Bonsignore, whatever. A league source with knowledge of the situation confirmed that the Las Vegas Raiders are growing open to the idea of trading Davante Adams. I know where this is going. I know where this is going. The Kansas City Chiefs have traded
J-E-T-S.
Oh, God. Shout out to Matt Ordazzo of the corner booth. He's a big Jets fan. I think he's been very open, I'm sure, to the idea of Davante Adams going to the New York Jets.
Tyreek Hill, like they've been big game hunting for a wide receiver for years now. I know they have their wide receiver 1 with Garrett Wilson, but I don't think they would hurt to bring Davante Adams, Rodgers' old wide receiver number 1.
Yeah, like Well, okay, let's go. Why not bring up, bring a guy that Rodgers has excellent chemistry with, pair them up together. Who knows? Jets. So, actually, you know what? Let's go to the Jets actually because they look okay. Here's the thing. I know Daniel Jones is bad, but really, Bo Nix
I'd say at least Daniel
70.
Jones could throw more than 100 yards in the rain. He had -7 passing yards at halftime.
Yeah, like come on, Bo. Like you, the franchise. But that's the thing. He threw for 70 yards and they still won.
Lost. The Jets still lost. I mean, that is the most Jets loss of all time. Rainy MetLife Stadium with Aaron Rodgers and Bo Nix has one of the worst games a quarterback can have and still beat you.
All I'll say is it's
The more
like
things change, the more they stay the same.
there were 2 games played at MetLife this week. Giants, Cowboys, Broncos, Jets. Both New York teams did not score a touchdown. Welcome to New York sports, where you'll be shocked at whatever could happen every single week. For me, any of the takeaways on your end, buddy, before
Let's
before I give mine?
pretty much got it, the main ones.
Yeah.
I don't think I mean, other than the Chiefs are able to play good and close games. Did you see the Chiefs? Their 9-game winning streak, 8 of them have been decided by 1 point, by 1 possession. It's is this team just really good or just really lucky?
Refs. Anyways. By the way,
8 1-possession games go your way in a row.
The refs.
That's crazy. Your luck's gonna run out at some point, guys.
They're not that good.
No, they're not. And I think the Chargers had a better team out there. They would have crushed them. They played a pretty good game against them.
The 17-10 score is not a reflection of how close this game actually was. It should have been 17-16. But it
was 10-10 for a long time. And then I think it was Mahomes his last drive, right? Is when he scored.
Yes. 7 points in the fourth quarter. I believe it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was 6:04 left in the fourth quarter. They scored that 2-yard touchdown by Samaje Perine. That put them up 17-10, and that kind of just sealed things for them.
So not the last drive, but late in the game, they scored a touchdown.
Yeah. So, it was actually their last drive, and then they kind of iced things up after the Chargers had to punt the ball away. Yeah, man. They're 4-0, but look, not to be a hater, they did this every year. The Chiefs, they always manage to be 4-0 or undefeated, and it's how are they doing it? Well, I don't fudging know, but hey,
when you have Patrick Mahomes and a really good coach in Andy Reid, I think you should just kind of find a way at that point.
At least Travis Kelce woke up, sort of.
Yeah, it was nice seeing him do something for once.
I know, telling me
the breakup date passed, and they're still together, so it's okay.
I know. I was
a little disappointed. I was kind of waiting on Saturday by the phone. I was with all my college friends, and we're sitting in the bar. I'm they got the opportunity to do the funniest thing of all time right now. I will buy the bar shots if they break up right now.
All right, and then a few more games I want to cover real quick before we go to Notre Dame because I want to get that covered and also talk about MLB Playoff Picture real quick. Texans survived against Jacksonville. Jacksonville is now 0-4. As Brian mentioned, the Commanders have to be the best team in the NFC. Jaden Daniels has looked absolutely phenomenal. Has to be up. Well, he and Neighbors are up for Rookie of the Year by far. Those two.
Yeah, it's Daniels and Neighbors.
Yeah, Daniels he's doing a heck of a job, dude. I think as much as we're supposed to hate the Commanders, it's safe to say that they did not mess this one up whatsoever.
No, they nailed this one. Shout out to them. They're building. Their new ownership has come in, completely turned the team around.
And they deserve it. They've gone through so much crap with the ownership. They finally have someone who cares. John Mara, I'm looking at you. Figure it out. Ravens beat the Bills.
See, that's the thing. I think John Mara cares. I just think John Mara doesn't know what's right anymore. I did
the wrong things.
Yeah, John Mara wants to win football games and wants the Giants to be good. He's just a very bad decision maker. Dan Snyder was just John Fisher in Oakland doesn't care. I think it pains Mara that the Giants are 1-3 right now and are looking down another competitive season because of everything that he meant for his father and his family. So there still is that care there. He's just a really bad decision maker and shouldn't be like president of football operations. I don't know if that's his official title, but he's the czar of what happens. I think you need a new decision maker in there. But like maybe Joe Shane needs a promotion to not the general manager. He's running everything. Everything football runs through Joe Shane.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's clear the Ravens offense is Derrick Henry because first play 80-something yard touchdown, and the Ravens won 35-10 on Sunday
You probably
night.
could have turned the game off at that point.
Yeah, that was over after that. I was like, yeah, that's no way Buffalo's gonna somehow swing the momentum back their way. So Ravens won. Yeah. They dominated the Bills. Monday night, 2 games. Lions and Seahawks was the best one, 100%. Oh yeah, no doubt.
If you watch Jaguar, like I had Titans on during like commercial breaks and stuff, but like you watch that whole game, you have a second screen at least. You have one screen, and you decide to watch Titans and Dolphins.
Yep.
I'm gonna research some head examining places in California. I'm gonna need you to go to one of them.
Thank you, buddy.
This is for your good.
Okay.
I don't know how. I knew that game was bad beforehand. I'm like, I'm literally just watching this because it's football. What else on?
Mason Rudolph versus Tyler Huntley. You can't get anything better than that.
Yes, you can. Geno Smith versus Jared Goff.
Well, look, for those who watched the Dolphins-Titans game, as you guys saw, that game was a mess until the fourth quarter, or third or fourth quarter, where the Titans put up 22 points to win the game. 31.
There were Dolphins fans that turned that game off and watched the other game.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe Tua wasn't overpaid after all. Maybe Tyler Huntley and Skylar Thompson aren't the best options in the world. But hey, look, for those guys who watched Seattle and Detroit and wasn't crazy like me, Lions, hell of a game. 42 points. Jared Goff even caught a touchdown. By the way, I was asked at work because there's this rule in place, or not a projection in place where a quarterback can have more than 0.5 rushing plus receiving touchdowns. And someone asked me, how can a quarterback catch a touchdown? Well, Jared Goff. There you go. That
the Philly special.
Yeah. Honestly, they ran. No, I was gonna say they ran it better than Philly, but no, you can't. Philly ran that play in the Super Bowl.
It's only demoralized because they won the game and it was their first Super Bowl of all time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Peterson and Nick Foles are on a statue outside the Eagles Stadium.
Oh, they don't have one yet?
There is. There's a statue of Nick Foles and Doug Peterson. Like, I get why the statue's there. It makes total sense. But so funny with no context. Why is the Jacksonville Jaguars head coach and a retired NFL quarterback who's a journeyman quarterback outside the Eagles Stadium? Like, what is this?
The average fan's probably like, what does this mean? And it's like
in 30 years, like, why are these two together?
But yeah, those are week 4 takeaways. Yeah, so 2 more topics to go. Notre Dame. I would like to admit I made a mistake. On the Corner Booth podcast, we do a 6-pack, which basically we pick. Jared, the main host, he picks 6 games that we make our picks on, and we compete in this point system. Notre Dame and Louisville was one of the options, and I love you. I shouted you out on the show, by the way. I was like, Brian's my guy. I love him. But I was scared because of Riley Leonard. And you have to admit, I
don't disagree with you. I was the same way.
But I was like, okay, with that being said, that's why I went Louisville. And then on Saturday, I looked at the score, and I'm like, son of a gun. I have to admit to Brian that I messed up. So you can take the reins on this one. How did the Irish take care of business against the Louisville Cardinal to the dismay of my?
Well, I mean, for one, we finally got a good passing game from Riley Leonard. Like you said, the main concern about him was the inability. I said on this show, I don't think he's a good passer. 17 for 23, 163 yards, 2 touchdowns, the first time in his Notre Dame career. He's had 2 touchdown passes. So that was really good to see. Great house with a great receiving game, four receptions, 61 yards, and a touchdown. That was the main thing. The Notre Dame offense able to score quickly. That's a big part of it. And the second one was making making the offense uncomfortable. Like Notre Dame had 3 sacks, and 7 tackles for loss. They were in there getting to Louisville's quarterback and not allowing the play to develop, making him scramble, making him have bad decisions. So it was a template for Notre Dame to use going forward, and it kind of washes the taste of NIU out of your mouth. I don't want to say it's gone completely because it is still there. Like, if anything, it's more frustrating now. Like, how did this team lose to NIU when they played so well against A&M and Louisville, 2 ranked teams, and they dominated Miami of Ohio and Purdue? If Notre Dame wants to run a table, I feel a lot more confident now than I did last week and the week before.
Yeah, you guys are 4-1. That's
and like a pretty they have USC who's ranked, so that's going to be a nice notch. If they beat them, that's a nice look of the resume. They have Army, Navy, who are pretty decent this year, are actually receiving top 25 votes. So those are 2 good teams. So Notre Dame goes 11-1. Yeah, you lost will be bad and will stick out. But when you beat 3 ranked teams and have the potentially 5 ranked teams, because who's to say that Army, Navy don't become ranked at some point? Texas A&M doesn't move up, and Louisville and USC stay ranked. Notre Dame could have 5 ranked wins under their belt. That's a very impressive 11-1 season. You kind of have to limit the playoffs at that point.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll talk more Notre Dame on Thursday. You guys have who again this week?
We have bye week this week.
Bye week. Okay.
We're off.
Gotcha.
Thank God. Much needed. Get the boys settled. Get them to reset before the rivalry against Stanford next week.
Oh, that's a win. Ain't no way I was in Stanford.
It's a win, but like I said, I can't trust these guys. I said the NIU game was going to be 40-0 at halftime, and it was a blowout. Not a blowout, but a very competitive game. So there's no guaranteed wins for the Irish anymore right now. I can't give them that benefit of the doubt.
Honestly, I think it's a blessing the Irish have a bye week because at least that's one less team that you can stress about this week. Like you can just focus on the Mets.
Yeah,
my fault, buddy. Go ahead, buddy.
The Mets this weekend. I'll put I'll watch the Giants game obviously, and I'll watch football, but they're going to be like such a less concerned than what the Mets are doing.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously both watch it because it's our team and for this show, of course. But let's be honest, I think we're more focused on baseball because the Mets and Phillies are both in. Speaking of which, you can go. Apparently, according to Tick Pick. By the way, I'm saying that correctly because I heard there's a joke that someone says it the wrong way. You can attend the Mets Brewers game today for $9. So,
if I live close to Milwaukee, I would go.
Yeah, but unfortunately,
right now, I'm on Tick Pick right now, and I believe. Let's see what is. Okay, yes, I understand. I will get a refund. This game is played. What is the cheapest price I can get for a game right now?
That's a very good question. This is where we look up.
Here we go. Hang on.
All right.
$184 to sit. You're in nosebleeds. Almost $200 to sit in section 533. NLDS Game 3.
Yeah,
that game. It's a few days out, granted. So maybe the ticket price will come down, and if maybe if we're confirmed as a game, maybe as you get closer, it will come down a little bit. But that's probably what you're going to be expecting. You're paying over $100 in that stadium.
How far are you away from Citi Field? Because I know you're
about an hour.
Oh,
an hour.
Oh, okay.
It's really not a bad drive.
Not too bad. Alrighty. Um. Yeah. All right. So finally, let's go back to the sport that actually matters right now. And Brian, you'll be excited here. MLB playoff picture. The bracket is set all around. Mets play the Brewers, but of course, there's other teams in the postseason. So in the AL, American League to be exact, we have the Orioles and Royals, and then the Astros and the Tigers to start the wild card series. The Yankees and the Guardians both clinched first round byes. Thoughts on the American League before we go to the National League, Brian?
Watch out for the Tigers. I really think they are an upset candidate I think they can upset the Astros. I know the Astros have kind of been on a historic hot streak, but the MLB is all about getting in at the right time, playing the team at the right time. And the Tigers have gone on this, they're 30-17. They basically completely revitalized the way a team is starting pitching. I think they're going to be a really pesky team to play with. And I can see them making a deep run. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if we're sitting here and the Tigers are in the ALCS. They're just playing, they have the Astros, which, yes, the Astros are really good.
Mm-hmm.
This is the weakest Astros team we've seen in a while. They're playing a unproven, very young Guardian. If they win that, they'll play a very unproven, young Guardians team. They can, the pressure can get to the Guardians and they can beat them. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Tigers are in the championship series.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Yankees, to me, they'll make it to the ALCS. It's a matter of how far they'll make it. I know recent history shows they're not the most successful team in the playoffs, but number one seed, best team in the AL for a reason. I expect them to be in the ALCS. You mentioned Detroit. That was a great point there. Can the Orioles possibly bounce back after what happened last year where they made the playoffs? It was a great season, but they just stumbled in the wild card series. We'll have to see.
Playing a Royals team that kind of came out of nowhere this year, so maybe the high-end talent kind of outweighs that magic.
Yeah. So I guess who do you have coming out of the American League when everything is said and done?
I think I'm going to go with It's tough, but I think I have to go with the Yankees. I think they're the best all-around team. I just don't see a path for a team to beat them.
Yeah. They just seem like the strongest team out of the bunch.
Yeah.
Their experience, their veteran-led group. Chisholm, Soto, Judge.
Soto, and Cole are the main three right now for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
yeah, like you want to say like, oh, the Guardians have a great bullpen. Yeah, but I've seen Yankee Guardians all my life, and you know what happens? The Guardians lose every single time. The only team I've seen beat the Yankees are the Red Sox, who aren't there, and the Astros, who are a lot weaker than they have been in the past.
I heard Verlander's off the.
What a terrible trade that's been for them. Mets got two really decent prospects, and the Verlander has just been iffy.
Yeah. So, all right.
40-year-old guys.
Yeah, he's 40. He's pushing it. I mean, he's got Kate Upton, man. Go hang out with her, man. Go retire. You're living every man's dreams.
It's like I would tell Paul Skeens. I'm gonna tell Paul Skeens the same thing in like 20 years. Yeah, we'll be done. Retire.
Retire.
Go spend time with her.
That's a real baseball couple, baby. Yes, sir. All righty.
Verlander and Kate Upton, or Livy Dunn and Skeens?
Oh, Dunn and Skeens.
Skeens, yeah, I'm the same way.
That's
I think if we get older, you might see more people lean Verlander, Upton, but I think because Upton was like the Livy Dunn back in the day.
Yeah. Yep,
right now it's Livy Dunn.
All righty. National League. This is the league that actually matters to us. Dodgers and Phillies both clinched first round byes. Padres and the Braves face off in the first wild card series match, and then we have the Brewers and the Mets in the second one. Outside of the Mets, because you'll have the final word for this show, because I'm sure you have something to say about the Mets as well. You started the show with Mets, we're gonna end the show with Mets because you deserve it. Any thoughts on the National League, and who do you have escaping out of this?
I don't want to say I have escaping out of it because I'm so focused on the Mets right now. I don't want to put any bad juju in the air. So the Mets are going to the World Series and playing the Yankees.
Oh, my God.
Is that what I actually believe? I'm not going to say because, again, no bad juju.
No bad juju. I guess I'll try to take over as best I can. Look, Dodgers best team in the National League. I get it, but
I mean, it's pretty much the Dodgers to lose. If we're being honest.
has to be.
It's
Phillies.
the winner. I really think the winner of that Dodgers Padres series is going to be the National League representatives.
Mm-hmm. Well, for me, as much as I do want to see you guys, I actually don't, because it kind of saves me the pain of having to root for my team against yours. Because obviously I respect you. You're my co-host, so it's like I don't want to root against your Mets, and I haven't done that all year. So I don't want to do that. But to me, whoever escapes out of Phillies and Mets, they're winning the whole damn thing. There's just something about New York, the Mets. Like, you guys pulled off the most craziest win, against the Braves. And
which is nothing we do. We don't beat the Braves. Like, I feel like people do not beat the Braves ever.
Yeah. So there's something that if you somehow escape Philly, you go into LA, and with everyone saying, "Oh, LA is gonna sweep y'all, or they're gonna take over," there's just something about it, and I feel like the Mets will pull it off. But I hope it doesn't come down to that. Well, it might have to, because like I said, the Phillies will likely play the Mets if the Mets win the wild card series against the Brewers, but we shall see. I have the Phillies. I love my guys. I trust them. I know that they made the NLCS last year. They broke my heart because Arizona was a pretty solid team, and they made it past us some way, somehow. I got the Phillies and Yankees, and I hopefully, for third time's a charm, the Phillies win the whole thing. But I digress. We'll see what happens. Brian, any final message for the Mets and Mets fans in general? Because this could be the year, man.
Breathe. That's what I have for every Mets fan right now. Remember to breathe, because it's gonna be a rough one today. It's I know we've had a rough time against Milwaukee, but this feels like a team of destiny, and this could be a really, really fun October for us. So, LFGM.
Okay. Well, that'll do it for this episode of the Third and 10 podcast.
Yet?
I'm sorry?
5:32 yet? That's first pitch.
Hang on, baby.
I can't survive for another 3 hours.
You just gotta hold on. Hold on for dear life.
Like, I can't. You're expecting me to watch. Like, okay, yeah, Tigers and Astros seems awesome at 2:30, but I can't watch that with the Mets coming on in 3 hours.
It's like your team is in the playoffs. Like, who cares what happens to everyone else? Like, your team is actually in.
If the Mets were in the playoffs, I'd be psyched to watch Astros Tigers at 2:30, because I think that's gonna be a really cool, exciting series. But with the Mets coming on, I'm like, I can't. I just need to be just locked in.
Exactly. But yeah, all right. Well, good luck to you. I wish you the best luck. We will see. Yeah. So we'll visit each other Thursday or Friday. So by then,
potentially game 3 on Thursday.
Oh,
hopefully the Mets have it wrapped up by then, and we win these first 2, and we're kind of off to Philadelphia and get the rest of the pitching a little bit. But Thursday might be an even more stressed out me.
So Severino today. Tomorrow's gonna be
Manaya.
Yeah, I was gonna say Manaya.
The other one will get game 3. Whoever doesn't pitch game 2 will pitch game 3, if needed.
Okay.
If not, the other one will probably start the series opener against the Phils.
Yeah. So let's hope for a stress-free series, huh? Let's hope.
That'd be nice. Can we say like 2 5-0 games for their mental health?
I
vote mental health. Can the Mets just easily win, or is that just no?
Welcome to October. Welcome to October. For Brian, I'm Nate. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Peace.